Now, to be able to work with formulas or equations in Microsoft Excel, we need to understand the order of operation, that is the sequence in which the operators in a formula or in equations are executed. So if we have the basic understanding, the rest of the stuff will be taken care by Microsoft Excel. So let's go ahead and have a look. Now, to be able to remember the order of operations, this is something that you might have already done in your high school, is that you need to be aware of a simple acronym. And this acronym can differ based on which location you are or where you studied. So basically, for example, I did my higher education in India. So I was introduced this abbreviation called BODMAS, and which denotes the sequence of operations. That is, first the brackets, whatever there is within the brackets will be executed, then the operator, then the divisions, then multiplications, addition, and subtraction. If you're in some other location, I'm pretty sure you must be aware of an abbreviation called PEMDAS, right? And this is exactly the same, it's just that the name may differ. So first is parentheses, which is the same as bracket. Then is the exponents, which is same as operator, multiply, divide, add, and subtract. So it doesn't matter which abbreviation you follow, but you just need to remember the sequence of operations. So if you have a good understanding of this sequence of operations, that is, you just need to know that within a formula, if these operators are available, then this will be the sequence of operation. So to understand this better, let's have a look at a small example. All right, so here I have an imaginary bill of items with some sample items, item A, B, and C, and their values. And then we have to calculate subtotal, there's a tax, and then we have to calculate the grand total, right? And by the way, if you want this example, you can download it by clicking on the link in the description. So to calculate the subtotal, let me just say equals, and then let me just add these cells, that is C3 plus C4 plus C5. And then it gives me a subtotal of $520. Now we have tax, and we have to calculate a grand total over here. So let me say equals my subtotal into my tax, and it gives me 36.4, which is not correct because all it's doing is calculating 7% of 520 and putting it over here. What I want is the system to calculate 70% of this and add to the subtotal and then give me the grand total, right? So let me just change the formula and say, okay, subtotal plus 1, and that is, it should evaluate that as 70% and then give me the grand total, but it still does not give me the grand total. So obviously there is something wrong in the sequence of operations. Now there is a tool in Microsoft Excel under Formulas tab. You can click on Evaluate Formula. So we need to highlight this cell over here and the grand total and click on Evaluate Formula. What it will do is it will check that formula and it will show you what is the sequence of evaluation. So currently it's on C6, which is fine. So let me click on Evaluate, and it evaluates to 520, which is correct. Then it goes to C7, and then it evaluates that, and that is 0.7. But then if you see that it is now underlined 520 multiplied by 0.7. Well, this is not correct because I want to evaluate 0.7 plus 1 first, right? Not this. So this is something wrong in my calculation, and that's why it's giving me the wrong figure. So if you remember the sequence of operations, that first is the brackets or the parentheses, right? So I would like the system to evaluate this figure first, that is C7 plus 1, that is the 70%, and then multiply it by the subtotal. And when I click on enter, Now it gives me the grand total, right? So similarly, you can expand this to all the other operators and work out your examples. And you can use this evaluate formula tool to see how your formula is being evaluated by the system, so you can know that, if your formula is correct or not, or if you're missing some operators over there which should be evaluated first or later. So why don't you go ahead and try it out for yourself?